In the recent 2 years of my high school experience, I've lived a life centered only around productivity without actually having fun.
I just feel overwhelmed. I literally feel like there's no one I can talk to about it.
I've reflected on my mistakes and gathered my learning lessons for you so you can avoid the traps I fell into. My friend and business co-founder Emma joined me today to give you guys literal wisdom as a high school senior of how she stayed productive while actually having a social life.
I'm just struggling to be a YouTuber right now. Feeling better now. Okay, Emma, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Emma. I'm going into senior year. I don't even know how to explain our relationship. I work for Annie. Some of the things that I do are YouTube, clubs, and then also AP classes.
Yeah, and I really wanted Emma to give advice in this video too because I've been getting better at balancing my social life, but you've been in this for a longer game now. I would say Emma's better at this than I am.
Thank you.
But for me, throughout my high school career, I've had to balance my academics, the YouTube channel, and a business. We actually started a business together, the High Performance Student Program, so that is actually how I know Emma. We started working together before and then I just made her be friends with me.
It definitely worked out well.
So Emma is entering her senior year of high school. What mistakes do you think you've made in your high school career so far, academically?
I think honestly just focusing too much on one subject. Let's say I'm struggling in math or chemistry. I'm investing all of my time into studying for that, and even though that's important, then I feel like in some of my classes I'm actually good at, I was lacking. So you just need to know when to balance your time correctly. Just put equal energy into all of your classes and adjust accordingly.
What advice would you give someone who's let's say really struggling in science but is good at all their other subjects?
I think obviously spending more time and energy into that while still focusing on the other ones, and then also looking for outside help, because sometimes you really can't do it alone. You can only study so much in your bedroom before you might give up or get frustrated. So either finding a study buddy or just a tutor in your school or a teacher. I think that was honestly my biggest tip that I learned throughout my high school career.
Teachers, how is your relationship with teachers? I don't know about you guys, but my mom is always telling me try to get tight with your teachers. Think about the recommendation letters you'll need. For you, did you feel like that came naturally?
I feel like it depends on the teacher. Some of them are super warm and inviting and they want you to stay in their classroom after class and stuff. And I feel like some of them I was threatened by. I'm okay, we're not gonna be friends here. I feel like you're gonna yell at me. Some of the teachers you're just not gonna get along with, and that's fine. You don't have to be best friends with them. But I think honestly the best way to find teachers that you'll get along with are through clubs, even if you don't have them in class. For me, my teachers that I'm closest with are my two business teachers that I got close with from doing DECA. Literally, they're both writing my letters of recommendation. Seeing a teacher outside of school makes your relationship deeper, and even if you don't want that, stay after class for a few minutes to ask them questions or talk to them about something you find interesting relating to their class, because they're going to like the fact that you're doing outside research or that you actually are invested in what they're talking about.
If you really want to make a teacher like you, do this because you're genuinely interested in it, but ask them for a book recommendation. Let's say for my English teacher who was super into philosophy, if I asked them for a philosophy book recommendation, read it, and then shared my thoughts on it, that actually shows that you're interested in what they're teaching and that you actually take their advice. And also for academics, I would honestly say your mental health is so critical. My friends that I know that struggle the most with managing their time with academics, it's not because they're not smart, it's just genuinely about where their mental health is. If you find yourself constantly being on TikTok while you're supposed to be doing your homework, I don't think it's because you're lazy. It might be because you're trying to escape from your life as it is.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a cycle also. You'll get anxious about something and then do worse in school and then get anxious because you're doing worse in school. It's just hard to get yourself out of that. I honestly don't even have a specific thing to do to get out of it. I think it's different for everyone. I don't know. Usually for me, if I just take a step back and I focus on what's making me anxious and just investing a ton of time into that or investing a lot of effort into getting better, then that usually helps. Get to the root of why you're upset or anxious.
Right. When you feel anxious or overwhelmed with schoolwork, how do you personally cope with that?
This isn't something that I'd advise other people to do, but I usually have a power session. I just get through all of the work that I possibly can, and just checking it off my to-do list feels so good. I just don't think that there's anything that I could do that would feel better than that. But that also can be very damaging. You burn yourself out really easily doing that.
I need to learn from you in this because when we work together for the High Performance Student Program, whenever I look at her tasks on Asana, they're all done and everything. And then for me, I feel when I feel stressed, I'm not gonna look at my phone for the next 2 hours. I think I avoid more when I get stressed, but I want to be attack mode.
Yeah, I feel we're both trying to get closer to the middle of where each other are. So you find that balance once you kind of hit both extremes.
I think with procrastination, before you even try to treat procrastination, figure out where the root is coming from. Because once you have the awareness, let's say every single time you go on your phone to use TikTok and you know that the reason is because you're trying to escape your normal life, it's that awareness is going to help you reach for it less. But also I kind of want to be more like you and actually attack the things that I'm procrastinating.
Yeah, definitely to balance. I need to delete TikTok off my phone. That example hits too hard. I don't want to delete social media from my phone.
There's two reasons why I don't delete Instagram off my phone. First off, I can't post Instagram stories if I'm not on a mobile device. And then second reason is I've actually met a lot of my internet friends through Instagram DMs. Yeah, in terms of like academics and the classes that you choose, did you ever feel the pressure to like always take the hardest classes? Like, how has your perspective changed on that over the years?
I didn't give myself the option to take CP classes. I think I took one singular CP class.
Is that like regular level?
Yeah, so that's college prep. That's like regular and then honors and then AP. I only took one singular CP class and it was by accident. It was my freshman year business class. Made me realize that the levels aren't that different and it just is label at the end of the day. It being my senior year, I want to give myself some balance in that regard. So I'm taking 3 APs, but to balance that out, the rest of my classes are only classes that I fully enjoy. Business classes, self-studies, things like that.
Okay, so the class figure, last year I did all honors classes. I pretty much just tried to max out my schedule and I felt like I was handling it and doing it well. Like literally for junior year, I was planning on doing the same thing. Because the dangerous thing, okay, when you become a master of time management, you just think, well, I can do it. It's like, why not, right? But I think sometimes we don't realize that maybe physically you can be fine, but emotionally and spiritually you can be dying. To be a good friend, you need to be available to your friends. I feel like a lot of my friends, they could just sense how busy I was, so they wouldn't reach out like if they had problems because I wouldn't respond to them. Really, like when you're trying to like be productive in high school and also think about your friendships, like I do think cultivating healthy friendships is being productive. So you don't want to look back on your teenage years and think, oh, I never really enjoyed my time with my friends.
I don't want to look back on my life and be like, oh, I only have friends from like work because I didn't make any high school friends.
Yeah, and it's also like how you show up to your friends. If every single time you hang out with your friends, you're showing up with just like a spirit of stress and anxiety, you might still be somewhat fun to hang out with. Maybe you make sarcastic jokes about your academic stress, but at the same time, that kind of gets in the way of you actually building like a vulnerable friendship that can survive outside of schoolwork.
Yeah, definitely. The amount of times people have turned to me like, that test was so hard, I have so much homework, and just I haven't even spoken to them outside of just complaining about something.
I think growing closer in relationships is very much intuitive, but also kind of just like a more intentional mental model I like to think of is that you grow close with someone through frequency and depth. And some people, like, they only grow closer through frequency. So like, let's say you just feel really close to someone because you see them every day through school, but you don't actually know who they are and like what they struggle with and like what their goals are. And then you may have some relationships where you barely see this person, but then every single time you see them, you get really, really deep. I found like my best, healthiest relationships, I see them often and we grow closer in our friendship. So with my friend Elizabeth that I met on the internet, for us 2 to 3 times per week we'll do a deep work call. We'll just hop on a Zoom call together and do our own work, not even talk really. And then maybe every other week we'll do one specific call where it's like a life catch-up call and we're just talking about deep stuff. If you're intentionally trying to get closer to someone, especially an internet relationship, that's what I'd recommend. For me, I do care about all my friends, but sometimes I do have to remind myself of like everyone I'm friends with so I can remember to like keep in touch with them. Even just with being productive in your relationship with your friends, what I love to do is have deep work calls with my friends just to keep me accountable. And in our program, a ton of our students have deep work calls with each other even after the cohort ended. Do you want to explain in your words what HPS is?
I would honestly explain it as more of a community rather than a program. It definitely is a program. You get so much value through the 6 weeks of content and modules about productivity and how to balance your life, as well as just connecting with a ton of like-minded girls, both through the Discord community and through Zoom calls. I can't even explain in words how close I've seen some of them get. The fact that some of them have met up in person, I just think it's amazing to see how if you find like-minded people, just feel such a genuine connection to them immediately just because of how similar you guys are.
It can be hard to find like-minded people in school or even in other schools, especially if you don't have like a social media platform, because it can kind of be weird if like you just DM someone and like you don't have any mutuals or anything. But definitely through a program like HPS, you kind of already curate the like-minded people for you, so you can just kind of hop in and meet people. And if you're watching this before September 1st, 2022, that is when our next cohort starts. Definitely visit highperformancestudent.info and enroll before September 1st so that you don't miss out on that deadline, because we do it like cohort based, so you can't just join whenever. I think it's like really nice to have like a set community of girls, because it's just so cool to see everyone get so close.
Yeah, definitely. Is that way people can't just like randomly hop in 3 weeks in and there's already these connections established. Very much a level playing field where girls connect and like learn things together. School events are a great way to both socialize and connect that school and outside social life together and just like meet different people. I mean, obviously you've probably met them if they go to your school or like seen them around, but seeing them in an outside setting changes your perspective of them a lot. My school, I feel like there's a few events that are huge, but then also sometimes I think people think that they're like too cool for them. I just think that that is so important to like attend football games, as many as you can. And I feel like most people have gotten better with that after COVID because it was stripped away, so now people appreciate it more.
What do you plan to do when times get rough? What mindset mindsets are you going to implement now, like before it gets to that point?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to think of things in like quarters. So like this next 3 months of my life is going to be so chaotic. I already know starting senior year, college applications, balancing like HPS, my YouTube channel. Honestly, in the past, I've not balanced everything equally, which is like almost impossible to do. But usually it's the things I enjoy the most that just like get neglected because they're usually the more optional things. But like obviously you can't just like not apply for college because you want to upload a YouTube video. I think I'm gonna kind of intentionally plan on times to do everything, whether that be scheduling intentional social hours. That sounds like I'm a teacher.
No, I get that.
Yeah. Literally being like, this time on Monday, I just can't talk to anyone. I can't open up my
Nap
phone.
time.
I'm gonna either have to just do something for myself or just grind out college applications or do whatever work or studying that I have to do. I think setting those intentional boundaries, even if it's just like within your head, not even necessarily having to say to people, oh, I can't talk to you on Mondays. Like that's my work day. That might sound odd, but like as long as it's working for you and in your head, I'm just gonna try to do that, and I guess we'll see.
I like how you're being realistic about it though. I'm kind of preparing yourself for the season that's about to come. That is all the advice we have for you guys in this video. If you want to see more of Emma, watch her YouTube channel. Her channel name is just Emma Grace. Her YouTube channel will be in the link in the description. And if you guys want to see both of us together twice per week, visit highperformancestudent.info. Let us be your coaches. Literally gonna be so fun and meet an amazing community of like-minded girls in high school. If you're looking specifically for study tips, by the way, go watch this video next.